So when you start to build on that, it's like everything that you're doing, everything that you do as a company should be to acquire or retain. And if you have that mentality, then you understand how to take it to another level. You have to go to, all right, you know, if we're talking about no one's ordinary, like the owner can't be ordinary, right? Like, so he gotta be in Paris, he gotta be in Japan, he gotta be in fucking Belgium, nigga. He gotta be everywhere.
So true. No,
right?
That's true.
Like he can't
do regular shit.
He also can't be okay with having a brand and like not being it.
All right, Vic. So I appreciate y'all putting up. Kind of just give a little context for the people if they first time watching, or if it's your first time, whatever. But how this idea even came a year ago when I was like getting back into things. I told myself I wanted to like kind of like focus like foundationally, and that's why I was there for myself. And I was spending a lot of time thinking about, all right, what is No One's Ordinary? What has it been for me? And it's been like it's just been a way for me to express myself and tell stories and do and stuff like that. So I was like, I wanted to do something not like a podcast, but something that just gave other creatives who express themselves across different mediums to be able to just like have a conversation and it feel natural. Like it's not like scripted. We got like some guided questions just to kind of like keep the conversation in flow.
Okay.
But it's just gonna feel free. So I remember a year ago just having this conversation with them, and Elle was like, "This sounds like the most like creative AA meeting." So that's what we called it, like Conversations, a creative meeting with two A's. So yeah, so we're gonna get right into it. Let's introduce ourselves first. So I'm Huey. I'm all things to No One's Ordinary. And if we're giving ourselves a title, which I don't really like doing, I'll say I'm a storyteller. And I like to tell stories across different mediums and mainly through fashion. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Maiya Papaya. I guess essentially I'm a storyteller too, through music. I'm a DJ, I'm a creative. I CEO of Papaya Market, have my own market where I sell my clothes, merchandise, different things. And yeah, I'm just, a jack of all trades. Whatever I want to do, I do it. I don't really have many hats. So yeah.
I'm Elzie. I do consumer education. I think about, how I exercise that is probably through the medium of like art direction, event planning, production, programming, brand operations, storytelling. Own a creative agency, partner to a few amazing guys, called Plant. Have some curriculum called Noun that we do to educate creatives, help them really try to do my best to enable like people's quality of life. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I focus on consumer education.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. I guess I'll start with you, since you just finished. What encouraged you to start?
Start what exactly?
Just in general, like a lot of the stuff that you're doing. What are you talking about? Like the creative agency you just mentioned. What are you talking about? All the programming. Where you all of the art direction, all of it. Like what encouraged you to say, okay, this is something that I want to do, or you felt like it was something missing in the market that you wanted to fill the void? Like what was it?
I'd say like kind of the constant inundation of like people wondering how I acquired what I had or what I was wearing or where I was going, who I was around, whatever it may be. It kind of helped me, like I kind of became very aware of the fact that I was a resource and a dot connector to helping people like lean into their quality of life, like the quality of life that they want. Saying, okay, you want that, you want those things, all right, bet, go here, talk to this person. Because I'm always curious and investigating, like what's out there, what's the best experience, like how can I know what should be worn, what is out there, what's available, where it may land after the first place that it came out, like, you know what I'm saying? So it just made me feel like clearly I have good taste, or I just know where to find the right information.
Yeah.
And both of those things are vital to me. So it felt imperative to like try to share that with as many people as possible.
What about you, Maiya? What encouraged you to start?
Okay, so I'm just gonna be all the way real. What encouraged me to start was I took like a significant loss in my life, lost somebody close to me. And so when that happened, it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. And sometimes in life, you know your potential, but you drag your feet and you think, oh, I got tomorrow, or, you know, it's always, I can do it later. You know what I'm saying? And that really opened my eyes, and I was like, I got to do what I got to do now, you know? So that's really how I started. Growing up, I always had good taste in music. Everybody's like, oh, Maiya, you know all the music, and you know this and you know that. And like, even with dressing, like, I always been different. Like, even younger, you know, people could always look at me and say like, she's different and she does what she wants to do. And so I see that the impact that I have on people. And so I just was like, you know, God put me on this earth and he gave me gifts, and I'm just, you know, I try to use it to bring joy to people, you know? And so I just, when I see people, you know, dancing and vibing, and like that might be like the best time that they had all week, you know, like that really, like, it brings joy to me. So that's really why I started, honestly.
I say for myself, what encouraged me to start was, I think it was super simple for me. I was just always big on doing what I wanted to do. I think when I was playing ball and coming out of college, and I was like, all right, I'm done playing ball. I remember having a weird spot. It's like that weird transition when you an athlete to like, you feel what route you finna go after you put the ball down. So I remember coming back home to Houston, and I was just like, bro, what else do I like? Mm-hmm. And I'm always said since I was a kid, I was only gonna do stuff that I like. So I was like, all right, it was either basketball, and it was just getting fly, like clothes and shoes. And so, yeah, I just leaned towards that. I was like, okay, what can I do in this? So I didn't really have the idea at the time to like, okay, I'm gonna build this big brand and all that. It was just like, I'm gonna just explore this lane real quick. So from buying a sewing machine to teaching myself how to sew, and then start to make shirts, and then start to print stuff. And then it was like, okay, I might be on to something. Let me try to, you know, figure this thing out and actually build something. So just kind of foundationally just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So next I asked, you know, where do y'all draw inspiration from?
So it's not specific for me. I could be driving down the street and I'll see a billboard, or I could be in a car and a song come on, and it just strikes something. Like, it could be anything, you know what I'm saying? I could be on vacation on the beach and just get motivated to, go make a mix, like beach vibe, you know, just, it could be anything. Like, so for me, I draw inspiration from just anything. It's like little seeds. Like, I just, you know what I'm saying? I draw inspiration from.
Hearing you say that, you sent basically like real life
experiences. Yeah,
that's what I would say for myself. Like, a lot of the stuff that I design, or even just inspire, like the stuff that I make, it's come from like real life experiences. And like, if I'm telling old stories, and it's like, okay, so I can be reminded, like, even when I made this jersey, it was a conversation with my brother. He was telling me how, he was like, bro, what you doing now makes sense. He was like, back when we was kids, he used to be looking at me like, bro, tripping. Like, he
didn't understand the vision.
He was telling me about a time, like, he was like, bro, you always did what you wanted to do, like when it came to dressing and all that. He said he remember when I was like in 6th grade, I had went to like Hot Topic and bought a wallet chain. And he said, bro, it was like this wallet chain with this checkered wallet. He said, I used to be wearing that mug daily. He was like, he thought I was weird, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he was ahead of your time.
Yeah. And then And then so that just reminded me of like, dang, that was around the times where I kind of like started expressing myself, but like unintentionally, because you don't know when you a kid, you just doing what you feel, yeah. So yeah, like that's what me is just like real life experiences, and yeah, I feel like as long as we like keep living, I think that's the best way to like draw inspiration, especially when you're doing something creative, because as long as you keep living, like we always gonna have experiences, whether they good or bad.
Right. Very true.
Yeah. I'm struggling to answer this question because I don't really feel like I don't feel like I'm inspired by much. And I think that's what inspires me. Like, I'm not really moved by much of anything.
Like you take a lot.
Like it takes a lot, bro. Like it takes so much to interest me. Like it takes so much to like make me like kind of curious about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very unimpressed, like with things, and that's why I think that I have good taste also. Like because it's like you have to meet certain standards, you have to operate over time in a certain way. Like you have to maintain a certain level of integrity. Like there's a lot of like ingredients that go into taste.
Yeah,
right.
Since we on taste, like define what taste means to you, because we mentioned it a couple of times.
I do, and I'm gonna beat that horse to death too. Like taste is the ability to discern what is and isn't to me, and like what is good is variant, right? But to have the ability to determine what's good across so many different levels of interest and taste and like variant perspectives, to have a homogenized agreement that this is good all the time in everything that you do is a very like quintessential thing that says that like you have taste.
Let me come back.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me come back to that. Because I agree with you for sure. But so like somebody would be watching, they probably question like, who is he to determine what's good and what's not good, or like how is
that's
he?
fair.
You know,
okay, so let me I'll answer that.
Yeah.
It's very easy to answer that. Like everything has a standard.
Yeah.
Everything. Like I don't care what anybody says. Like if you think about it, like from this standpoint of let's use cooking for an example. Like everybody has the ability to make their version of chicken, right? But no matter who makes chicken, it has to reach a certain internal temperature for it to be done. Right? Don't matter what type of chicken they making, smothered, fried, blackened, baked, air fried, whatever way you making it, whatever seasoning, if you putting it in jambalaya, if you putting it on pasta, if you putting it on pizza, if you're putting it like in a biscuit, whatever it is, there's a standard at the root of that says chicken has to meet this internal temperature and rest for this amount of time to be able to be served. That's a standard, right? That's like, there's no, unless you want to potentially try your hand at salmonella or uncooked chicken, like whatever it is. Like, if you want to take that risk, by all means, do it. But that's also the other side of the standard is like the outside the box. Oh, I'm gonna cook chicken like this, and then nigga, man, people ain't making it like I'm making it. It's like, but regardless of that, you still have to meet a certain standard.
Right.
We all know the standard of good, better, best. We all know the standard of good and not good, or bad and good. Whatever. There's a human experience that happens with good. Yeah. Like a good day is a day that's sunny and a good temperature, and like it's not too hot, it's not too cold. Like that's a homogenized. Like it's not saying that everybody agrees, but a homogenized, like a consensus, a unanimous. Like it's not unanimous. I'm saying it's homogenous. I'm saying it reaches a certain majority level of good,
Right.
where everybody's saying like most people would say that Chick-fil-A is good. Like it's not bad, but it ain't the greatest, but it ain't the worst.
It's like-
it's good. Like it's good enough for you. Like if you had to pick between Chick-fil-A and McDonald's for your last meal, most people would pick Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Most people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now there's gonna be some people that pick McDonald's for sure. But the majority would probably pick Chick-fil-A as their last meal if you had to choose between one or the other. So when we're talking about taste, most people would say that the Jordan 11 is a good Jordan. But would most people say that the 15 is a good Jordan?
No.
But there's some people with really good taste
That would say.
the
15.
or some people with really bad taste that would say the 15 though. Like, so you also have this,
sides of it.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the consensus, like the homogenized view is that the 11 is better than the 15. That's a homogenized view. But there's some people on the fringe that love the 15 and that absolutely hate the
Hate it,
15.
right.
And there's a lot more on the fringe than homogenized. So like that's kind of how I would describe how you could like showcase good and like just taste and not taste. Like you have to be able to understand that there's people that have so many ways that they look at things. And like I think that that's the part when you ask me like what inspires me is like helping people have that moment of aha. Like, oh, I get it now. Like that's where you got to get to that you got to educate yourself. You got to be curious. You got to investigate. You're not gonna get there if you don't. Like, but you know, I can go down that road like continuously.
What about you, Mike? What
Okay.
define taste? Like, I mean, to you.
Define taste. You really dissected it for me. I mean, but that's so many. That was so many like valid points. Like it is something like so. Okay, so taste for me. I like to say I have good taste. I guess I can. I'm trying to think how.
Let me ask you this instead.
Yeah, because that's.
Do you think people are born with taste, or is it a learned behavior?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. Ooh, okay. It could go either way. So I think I was born with taste. But that's just me because what I do attracts all kinds of people. You know what I'm saying? And that's me. But there are some people who see things and they pick up on it and they put it out as if it's who they are, but they just seen somebody else doing it. So that's not, I guess that wouldn't even really be taste, but
Would it be something
I
wrong
would
with that?
say, I would say this. I'm sorry.
no, you're good.
I think it's a big difference between taste and it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people can be born with it,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I don't think people could be born with taste. I think taste is acquired.
Okay.
I think taste is an amalgamation of like experience, like education, like proximity. Like I think it takes us a gumbo to kind of get your taste level.
With you, how you was just talking about like this, how I took when you say you was born with it. I felt like you was more so kind of trying to say you been had it, like you had it for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I got from that was like your moms could have had taste. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right,
the way certain
right.
things was in the house. Your mom was
Right.
playing certain music.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Product of.
Exactly.
So it
And that's like I
created
said,
that
education,
proximity.
proximity, like experience, like those things are building blocks foundationally for
Right.
taste. And so like that's why I'm like, when you're like, somebody's out there saying, oh, how does he say this, that, and the third? And it's like, you probably a nigga without taste. Like like you probably one of the ones that don't have
don't have
taste.
it right at all.
And that's why you can't get it. And that's why you're here. That's why you're watching this. So you
That's why
can
they
get it. Like so you can acquire. That's why that's agitating you, is because like we get agitated by the thing that we're not.
Yeah,
We do.
That's
we get
very
super agitated by the thing that we're not, that we want to be, that we want to embody. So it's like,
That's true.
man, that Nick, man, he ain't really, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
But you want to be like, yeah.
you probably,
You wanna
like,
be
this probably
that.
something like
That you
I,
want.
like for the life of me, and then this is a random side note, I can't stand Murray on the Nuggets. Like, never met this dude a day in my life, bro. But how he hoop is agitating as hell to me. Like, his,
Bro,
like,
got game.
but he can hoop.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bucket. You can't take that away from him,
Yeah.
right? And as much as I love Jamal Crawford, he ain't get no shit. And he didn't lead a team, but he can, like, his game though, chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, how he moves, how fluid he is.
Art.
It's just art, bro. Like, it's poetry. There don't know too many people that can make the game. Like, he epitomizes like, when people say basketball is beautiful, bro, like, Jamal Crawford is like poster child for like beautiful game, right? But the thing is like, when you talk about taste, you also have a taste that reaches a certain audience. And then you have a taste that you like hope to walk into. And then you have a taste that you walked out of. Like, but I think that there's a really beautiful thing about like what you were saying. That's also like this like level of confidence and comfort that says like, yeah, I'm that, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been having that, I've been in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's good because the thing is like, no matter how many people tell you what they see, like if you aren't that, like, you know what I'm saying?
And
I was
you don't
hoping
believe
this. If I define taste, it reminded me of like a conversation. I had a conversation with this dude on Instagram recently, and he was saying something about taste, and like he just kept equating it to clothes and like, and I was telling him he was trying to have a conversation with me. I said, bro, taste is lifestyle to me. I said,
across the board.
yeah, it's across the board. I said, it's no way, like, I'm gonna care about what's going on my body, and I'm not gonna care about what's going in my body. This is equivalent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you I could look at somebody and kind of like see how they kind of carry themselves, and I can kind of visualize like what their house look like too, because it's across the board.
It should, yeah. It should go that way. It should go that way.
It's supposed to exist across the board.
Right.
And
Like, how many times have you seen a dude or a woman get out of a Phantom in Old Navy flip flops?
yeah. Like you can't,
Like the thong ones with the in the big by the big toe. Like I'm talking about like how many times have you seen it? And it may exist somewhere, but like get out the Phantom, get out the Bentley, and like, you know what I'm saying, some Old Navy cargos and like you know what I'm saying, the thong, the Havana, you know what I'm saying, like you're not gonna see it. And then like you also probably not gonna see that person pulling up to Whataburger, you know what I'm saying, or they may pull up to McDonald's because, you know, kids, whatever.
Right.
But like they're not gonna pull up to certain places, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's across, like
it's across the board.
you wear these clothes, you probably go to Whole Foods. You know what I'm saying? We drink, we shop. I'm gonna spend a little. I know when I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna spend a little extra because I need to buy everything organic. But it's just like that's my lifestyle across the board. I want the best of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when you think about like inspiration though, like I know you talked about life, like kind of just lifestyle and like just kind of what is it called, real life experiences and stuff like that. But like, is there a way that you connect these things that we're talking like from like is something that does something have to have like a certain level of style or taste to inspire you, or like you know what I'm saying, or like
I think to speak to me, like for it to land on me, it has to have a certain level of like taste within it, or you know what I'm saying. Like I enjoy going to Central Market, I enjoy walking through it and how it's designed, and like dang, like they got this department, this department, this department, this department. Like this is what I need to shop at. Like I'm not shopping at Fiesta. I'm not shopping at Walmart. I'm not getting groceries.
And like as inconvenient as it may be to get to Central Market, you rather go through to the complete inconvenience to get to that one location
And it's traffic on West Town
every time. Like, it don't matter when you go, no matter how much you plan, like you go, like there's no easy way to get to Central Market. Like, so that's how I'm just like, okay, if you picking that, like you know what I'm saying, like you going that extra mile to have that experience. That's ill.
I asked this. We all like at a point where we actively like doing what we want to do, we're creatively expressing ourselves. Could you remember a time where you weren't, and what was that like at that time?
I am.
Oh, God.
I am, and I'm in the spot where I'm doing with me, and I'm not where I'm there at the same time.
So what is that?
It's exhausting.
Because you're battling
It's
yourself.
exhausting, bro.
Battling yourself.
Because I'm actively doing exactly what I want to do, and I'm just as far away from doing like what I want to do, like at the exact same time. And that is exhausting because it's like you want to be present and appreciative of where you are, but then you don't want to be complacent or comfortable. You want growth and development, but that takes time. And time is right now. And like what I'm doing right now is helping me get to there. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like this, it's this hamster wheel, bro.
That's what I asked you. Is that more so of like, yeah, I'm actively doing what I want to do, but I know like.
It's the scale.
Yeah.
It's
like,
the scale. It's scale. It's a scale thing. It's like,
was there a time where you weren't doing it at any level? Mm-hmm. You can't say that? Mm-hmm.
I can't because like, cause I'm always doing it. Like, cause what I learned that I do, bro, is not, it doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
Like I'm that every day, all day. Now, how much I'm inside myself may have days and weeks or months at a time where like I'm not actively walking in who I am, a little outside of the body experience, hurt, pain, life happening, despair. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like just the traditional like downpour of like life having its ebbs and flows, right? I think at this big age now, I've learned how to mitigate the amount of time I spend outside myself, but it happens. But I'm also able to be, I'm able to still be able to be operating in a space now, luckily that like everything continues to move in the way that it needs to move. But like to say that I don't know that there's ever been a time where I haven't been actively like where I want to be. Cause like you said, like I only want to do what I want to do at the end of the day. Like I'm not going to do, like I could be working at XYZ amount of companies or doing whatever it is to get a paycheck or to do what, you know what I'm saying? Like that's when I would feel like I'm not doing, and I don't think I've ever really done that.
And what you saying, Mike? What did?
Yes, there was. So, little backstory. When I graduated from high school, I went to college, and I was in college for nursing. And I would, I know, don't nobody really know a lot, a whole lot about my backstory, but I was in school for nursing, and my reasons for trying to be a nurse just didn't align. I was in it for like the wrong reason. So I wanted to be a nurse because essentially I knew I would always have a job, but that was kind of like the safe thing to do. And that's kind of like what my parents told me, okay, this is a good path to take, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I would just be in class like, it's not, it's not it. Like, it's not it. Like, or even working in jobs just to make money and just to live, try to get some revenue for myself. I would literally be at work like, I can't have nobody telling me what to do. Like, real life, like, I just didn't fit. Like, no matter what job I had, I didn't fit. Like, people telling me what to do doesn't work for me. Like, it's never worked for me. So it's like, I would literally be at work like, it's not it. And I would look around and people would be okay with it and I wasn't. So I just knew that I just didn't belong there. Like, but now, you know, now of course I'm living in that, but you can definitely see the difference from now and then, you know, it's huge difference, like huge difference.
It sounds like even when you say that, like when you were at those places, like you weren't okay with yourself being at those places. So what I'm saying, like to me, that sounds like you were like you were being who you needed to be, with your circumstances didn't allow you to recognize that as that. Like if I was your homie, I would have been like, yo, like you really, like you still that, like just be that there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
know the road.
And like just because like I think sometimes we take our own power and diminish it and like muzzle it, like when we could activate it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think that's, not to interrupt you, but I think that's like easier said than done.
I think it's easier done than sat on. Like I think a lot of people know but I feel like a lot of people's gut knows.
You feel it.
Exactly, but you don't know how to process it. You don't know how to, like, it's like, and that's fair. But like everybody always talk about like sticking with your gut. Like that saying didn't stick around for no reason. Yeah. Like niggas still say that because it's actually good advice. Yeah. Like it didn't stick around for no reason, bro. Like I swear to you, like your gut is your guide, like in a real way. Like it'll tell you when to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Yeah, but a discernment comes from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like the acquisition of like enough occurrences gives you confidence and discernment in that your gut, if you listen to it and it's right, that you will lean back into it. And if it's telling you whatever it's telling you. But a lot of times I feel like people muzzle their gut because it doesn't conform to their comforts as well. I think it's easy to be comfortable. And I think that there's a lot of comfort in ignorance, like not knowing and choosing to continue to maintain a position of not knowing. Yeah. Like a disciplined ignorance is what I see a lot of. It's like people not wanting, like, for example, like when like Drake or like, what was it? Like no new friends, like you don't want to meet new people. Like, and then like got a whole lot of people, like a whole society saying no new friends. I don't need no new people in my life. I'm good. I got exactly. It sounds like you don't want to be. You don't want to grow. You don't want to be challenged. You don't want to be like, who doesn't want to meet new and great people? Like you don't know everybody you're supposed to know. Like at 32 or 29 or
and the people
16,
that you could have been around could not be good for you,
or it could have grown into another part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you and your friend group are where y'all at right now, and y'all always have been there, and y'all pride yourselves on always being the same people. That sounds bad to me. Like I don't care what nobody say. Like that's scary. That's scary to be around the same people all the time doing the same thing for the rest of your life. Ew, nigga. Like,
but that is majority of like that is like that's what's going on actually.
But then like you can get stuck in that though. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a cycle.
Like, it's so much.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
Well, since we're talking about it right now, we're talking like about environments. That's what it sounds like. And do y'all feel like environments have an impact on people when it comes to expressing themselves?
Absolutely. I think your environment will enable your convictions. Yeah. Like, it'll like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll get you. Because, like, if you a scary nigga, like, and you in the hood, it's going to show you a scary nigga. Yeah. And then you have the resilience to become, like, a real nigga. And then that'll say who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you could be...
determine how your life goes.
Exactly. Like, and how people around you treat you. And how they respect you. Hey, that nigga used to be scary, but that nigga came one of them niggas that you don't want to fight, bro. Like
Or that nigga became one who's not gonna fight.
he's not gonna fight. Just leave that nigga alone, bro. Just leave him alone. He don't mess with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, or hey, since we known him, bro, nigga, he be putting that shit out, bro. Yeah. Like he one of them ones. Or hey, she's been and always has been the baddest chick in the neighborhood, bro. Like it don't matter what. Like she is who it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or business wise, right? Like if you got a, you know what I'm saying, a successful family or something, like you probably in an environment where you have the ability to be successful or you have the ability to be comfortable. Like I just think it enables your convictions at the end of the day.
I was in, this question made me think about, I just came back from Paris. I was in Paris. It was like one of my first days there. I'm walking on the street and I'm dressed a certain way where it's causing a lot of attention. So a dude stopped me. He like, yo, bro. I was like, what's up? He like, where you from? And I was like, Houston. And he just had, like, he just was acting like that. And I'm, damn, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. And then he was like, I hear you talk. He was like, it sounds like you from Texas, but he said, you don't dress like you from Texas, though. He was like, and then he asked me, this dude don't even know me. He said, how do people perceive you back home? Like, he said, like, you dressing like that, how do they perceive you in Houston? And I was like, and we in the middle of the street, so this is like...
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, when I thought about it, I was like, honestly, bro, it's always the backhanded compliment, like, I like that for you. Like,
you rock that.
You could, like, I hate when niggas say like, I like it for you.
Right.
And then... he was just like, bro, that's super interesting.
Or the other one is, man, only he could pull that out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And that was the conversation. That was it.
That's
and then, like, I walked up and I was like, that was super random. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it just made me think about, like, environments for sure. But that's how it's always been, especially, like, where I'm come from and who I grew up around. Like, you kind of got to be, like, insane to just kind of go against the grain. You know? Like...
I just feel like that's that conviction, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you are who you are, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
you're going to feel everything, though. Like, when going against the grain, you're going to feel every emotion.
Yeah.
Like, everything. Like, you're going to feel like, dang, like, what they going to... Like, you're going to be like, I'm not going to look crazy. People saying something, but I know I'm going to stand on this. But, like, I still feel it a little bit when they got the... You know what I'm saying? Like, all the uncomfortableness that come with it. But I think that's just, like, what make you, you know what I'm saying? And like, once you get over that and you like, all right, I'm 100% myself 24/7, it's like, that's just the best place to be regardless.
Unapologetic.
Yeah. Sure. So,
sure.
How would you say like your environment, you know, play a role, whether it hindered you or, you know, got in the way of you expressing yourself or being who you are today? Or was there a point where, you know, environment had an effect on you in that way?
I guess in a way, my environment has affected me because they kind of, the people that I'm around, they, you know, kind of encourage me to be me. You know what I'm saying? They never really, you know, they always like, oh my, you a little different, but you know what I'm saying? They like made me feel good about it. It's like, you know, being different is a good thing. Yeah. You know, it's a good thing that you don't fit in, you know? So I would say my environment give me the confidence that I didn't necessarily have with it, or I was just overthinking a lot of stuff. They just kind of gave me the like reassurance, like, you know, do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, pop it, like, don't worry about what other people think, like, you know, just stand on it, stand out. Like,
I think it's fire, like, having like the support around that, like people like, yo, like that's Maiya gonna do Maiya, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're supporting that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
We want to talk about like the work that, you know, we all do and kind of lean more into that. What do you feel like validates your work, El?
I don't know if that's fair to say. No, it is fair to say. The fact that anytime that anybody has ever existed on this earth. It's been, to me, to experience like two things, or not two things, but like maybe I'll say it like this: the baseline level of existence that I've experienced is that I want to feel two things. Every time I wake up, I want to feel two things. I want to feel safe and I want to feel loved, right? Like, and as I look at like interactions with people, the thing that validates the work that I do is that I feel like the ultimate like landing point is like when I can see that somebody feels like one of those two things or both. And so like that's when I feel validated that the work that I did, like it's that truly makes me feel validated. Like when I can tell that that's their experience, like they love it.
So when it being like properly received,
when it not just properly received, but like when it lands and it makes an impact, like, and I can tell them it made an impact and make them feel something deep within themselves. Because I feel like love and safety are like I said, like the quintessential things that I want to feel every day. Like I want to make people feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like
through what you do,
through what I do, and like when it does happen like that for me is the most like reassuring and validating thing that I could ever experience.
So while we here, I ask you on the opposite end, what discourages you?
What discourages me? Me.
You?
Me. Yeah.
Elaborate?
Don't want to elaborate. I don't know that I feel like being emotional, so no.
Okay.
So about you, Maiya, what validates your work?
What validates my work? I guess I can speak from, I guess I'll speak from my DJ perspective. So what validates my work and when I feel like job well done is just like I said earlier, like seeing people's joy in what I'm doing, you know, like music is memories. So when I'm playing certain stuff, like I could just see people like being taken back to like a moment in time where they were happy or they experienced, you know, different emotions. And so when I see people like really enjoying that, and it's just like, music is just like universal, you know what I'm saying? Yes, a language, and I can touch so many different people with that. So that's when I feel validated when it's being reciprocated, because I'm giving my energy to them, and then I'm also receiving it on the back end when they're showing me that they, you know, that they're liking what I'm doing. And I don't know if you wanted me to answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
What discourages?
What discourages me so I would say I'm a people reader. I have to read people in order to know. I don't know these people, you know what I'm saying? But I have to read them to know what they like and what they don't like. So even in that, I see, sometimes I'm out and I see people's hurt sometimes. And like, I see people come in certain places to fill voids within themselves, or drinking and, you know, just doing different things to just kind of feel the void, when sometimes it discourages me because I feel like I'm feeding that sometimes. I'm feeding kind of lost souls sometimes. I kind of feel that. I feel convicted in that, in a sense.
Playing certain music.
Not even playing certain, just feeding that energy sometimes. Because a lot of people, not in every space that I'm in, but a lot of spaces that I'm in, I feel like people are coming there and they're just lost and they don't know what else to do, other than to go out and drink and you know, kind of avoid everything that, you know what I'm saying, that they're feeling. And so instead of just instead of finding ways to fill those voids the right way, people do the opposite. Yeah. So that kind of discourages me sometimes, and I ain't never even told nobody that. But
no, that's interesting. Even when like I'm hearing you say that, I'm just like, dang.
But I think a lot. Like I'm always thinking, even when I'm asleep, I'm thinking. I'm just see that, you know, and I can't avoid that, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm in a space where I've been sober, completely sober. I don't do anything. And so you can really see it. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like it just opens your eyes to
You're fully aware.
I'm fully aware
of every emotion,
every single thing. And so when you're drunk or when you're under influence, you kind of with them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing the same thing they doing. So it just that's what discourages me, essentially. I ain't gonna get this today. I'll still go all day.
I'll say for myself, what validates my work, I speak from like a foundational level, would be, you know, kind of just simply, even like today, right? From having an idea, having a conversation, and then it leading to actually like being fruitful and putting it out to where actually acting on it and doing it. I would say foundationally, that's what validates my work, 100%. Just having an idea and being able to bring it to life. Okay. On the other end, I'll say what validates it as well would be it being received the way I intended it to be received. Not even, and that's not even, numbers has nothing to do with that. It's not even that, this many million people, this many hundreds of thousands of people saw it, or it went this viral on social media, whatever. It's just like, it could be a small number of people, and it's like, this is what I was intending, and it's like, they got it.
They got the message.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, when people tell me that, when people are reaching out, like, I saw what you was doing right there, I got that. Like, that spoke to me, it was clear. Like, I think that validates my work, and it also just speaks to what discourages my work when it's not perceived how I intended it to perceive, for it to be perceived, even if it's, because there's been times where recently I had something that was on a large level that went super viral, like that was crazy, and people like perceived it the completely wrong way.
Opposite.
Yeah, and I was just like, dang, like I'm okay with everybody having an opinion, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's not what I was intending.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that made me feel a certain way. Is like, it just, I'm okay if you don't, I'm okay if you don't even like it.
Yeah, I'm okay with you don't fuck with it. Like, but just
as long as you got it,
like,
and understood it.
That's what you with that.
Yeah. So, since I might as well ask this, how do y'all feel about? I'll ask you first. How you feel about people when people criticize your work? How do you feel about that? Or how do you deal with people criticizing your work? Better question.
So if someone criticizes me, I listen, and I either apply it or I don't apply it. If it's something that I agree with, I use it, and I try to apply what they've said to me, because ultimately I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if someone has more knowledge than me on something and they're giving me, criticism on what I should do, if it makes sense, I'm gonna take it, because I can always get better.
What if you don't agree?
If I don't agree, then push it to the back. I mean, everybody not gonna agree with what you're doing, and that's cool. I can't please everybody. That's just impossible. But if I do agree with it, then I apply it. I, see if that works, and if that don't work, then trial and error. So, yeah.
What about you, how you deal with people criticizing your work?
Poorly. I take it super personal. Yeah. Because it is me. My work is me. And so I take it extremely difficultly. It's a very difficult thing for me to experience criticism, but I think that that's good for me, because it allows me an opportunity to like be self-aware, because I don't know what it feels like to experience me. I know what it feels like to be me, but I don't know what it feels like to experience me. And criticism for me has been the greatest tool in my growth.
But also make challenge.
But it's as much as it enables growth, it enables so much emotional processing with that, because it is so personal and because I take it so personally. But it enables growth, and that growth enables a better product in who I am and how I'm designed. Like, I always apply the criticisms, every one of them. I apply all of them to who I am. And the reason why is because as much as I want somebody to perceive me or like perceive what I do or like do, like I have to have a certain level of willingness to know that their experience was a real experience for them. And if they gave me that as their experience, that is exactly what their experience was. Unless they misspoke and then they come back to me and they correct it. But otherwise, like, I'm taking it exactly as it is. And what that's done for me is it's helped me realize that, like, whether I like or dislike, whether I can or cannot apply it based on my experience or my preference, like that it should be a certain filter that's a part of my governor, like how I conduct myself, how my moral fiber, like who I am, how I show up, what I like, don't like, all of the things, all of my behaviors, like they have to be rooted in it. I have to take that into stock. Because that may be applicable for this particular type of thing, but it may not be applicable for this. So I know that in these circumstances, I need to know that this is how I show up in this space, and this is how I've manifested and whatever. So it got critique. But like it's the same thing about like intensity, right? Like I'll use that as an example. Like if you have a partner or a significant other and y'all are in an argument and your intensity level is on 100 and that person's intensity level is on 30, like you may be way too intense for that person and they criticize your ability to communicate with a certain level of intensity that like makes them feel something, right? But then in sports, if you have a certain level of intensity and your intensity is on 100 and this person's intensity on 30, at the end of the game, coach wants the defensive intensity to be at a all-time high.
So it's like it's applicable to a certain.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm an intense person. Like you're too intense. Like you're intense. Okay, yes, I am intense. But I also need to know that within my governor, when I should apply that intensity and when I shouldn't apply that intensity. So that's why I have to take it all in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. That's it made me think. I know that could be like emotional, like roller coaster.
As I told you, it's exhausting, bro. Like it's exhausting being me.
For myself, like I love criticism because I look at it like this. Is how I look at it. I'll just say this first. I love criticism because I feel like that's what makes the idea relevant. If nobody like is criticizing it, nobody cares about it. You know what I'm saying? Like whether people saying it's great or they hate it, it's like to me that's what makes it relevant. And for myself, I'm so unattached to where people have an opinion about it. That's enough for me. Because I'm so unattached to whether it's something somebody saying positive things about it, like that don't really move me. And then on the other end of that is people saying negative stuff about it. It also doesn't move me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was reading in this book. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to give it no pub, but we ain't get paid for that.
Hello.
Put them on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. But the line in the book said to be choiceless in your observations, right? I love that line because it allows me to say, okay, I can see this observation, aka a criticism, and I can be choiceless with it. I don't have to say that it's good or bad. I don't have to say that it's positive or negative. I can say it's that. That's what I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
You're letting me know something. It's information. That's it. That's what criticism is. It's information. You get what I'm saying? Like it's nothing other than that. It's information. Okay, you're intense. You're loud. You're overly passionate. Whatever the thing, or you don't speak up enough. You're timid. Like you're too soft spoken. Okay, you're telling me something. This is information that I can take in. Thank you for your observation. Thank you for your critique. Thank you for your contribution, whatever it is. But like hearing you, the way that you, like, I love that because like when you think about being choiceless in your observation, you are now no longer personifying it. You're not, oh, it's coming from this person don't like me. Oh, they know this person. They must have told, like you can go down this whole rabbit hole. Or you can say, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And that's it.
And that's it. And now I don't have to apply the emotion that aligns with the way that I took it, and then I have to process it like that, and then I have to go back and put the shoe on the other foot, or like put myself in their position. I don't even have to go through all of that turmoil. You know what I'm saying? And like I talk about how exhausting it's been, how exhausting it can be to be me because of how I think. But it's like the better I get at being choiceless in my observations of my experiences, and like just being ready to experience whatever I experience and allow it to flow through, like just kind of being in a state of, like constant accept, like radical acceptance, so to speak, and like choiceless. And those are the things that help me to move through it faster, but it doesn't make it less exhausting because it's always like we make so many decisions on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know if you have a question that relates to this, but I'm gonna hold this other thought because I feel like where we're going, we'll end up there.
The next thing I wanted to ask was, I think kind of hit on it a little bit, but I wanted to ask, like, how do you feel about advice?
Advice. I like advice. I'm trying to see.
Are you selective with who you choose to take advice from?
Yes. Only because people can only give you advice on certain things if they've experienced it to me. So you can't give me advice on something if you've never been through that. You would just be telling me what you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you've actually experienced this and we can relate in that sense, okay, then I might take your advice because you've actually walked in those shoes. Right. So, I mean, I take advice. I ask people for advice because you do things and you don't know the right way. There's, you know what I'm saying? You don't know. You just kind of just doing it just to see,
So your qualifications on like receiving advice is that person has to have done it.
Essentially, I that's what I would prefer.
I feel it that's how I feel. Like,
yeah, because it's like you can't tell me about this. How to, you know what I'm saying? You've never walked in those shoes. It's easier to say something than to have done it. So it's like, essentially, if you've been through that, then I might take your advice on that specific thing.
Yeah. I think advice tricky, man. Like,
yeah,
especially like I think about like when I'm scrolling on like TikTok, I'm scrolling on Instagram, it's people just trying to sell you stuff all the time. Like from this how you do this, are you trying to build this is how you do this. And it's just like, it's even kids. I'll be thinking it's the craziest thing. I'll be seeing like 18, 19-year-old kids trying to teach people how to like develop brands and this and that. And I just be like, bro, you don't even know anything yet. Like you haven't had a chance to even
enough
experience life yet. Like, but, I mean, sometimes I put this on Threads the other day. I just woke up one day and I just tweeted for Threads, whatever I said. And everybody giving advice, shut up.
Please.
Like, just shut up today.
Please. And even like with with that platform, like TikTok and Instagram, everybody want to know. It's like, yo, you don't. And it's like, it's so unorganic. It's just like.
I think you learn so much. I speak for myself. So much that I've learned has been through experience.
Right.
So that's why it's kind of hard for me to take advice from people who just haven't done it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, it takes a level of knowing that comes through the experience. But I mean, people would definitely think otherwise, though. What you think, Edu?
I'm one of those people that think otherwise. I think that I don't see much difference between advice and criticism.
Yeah, one and the same.
Personally, like, I hold them both to the same regard. My daughter told me to do some stuff the other day, and I thought it was great. Yeah. And she only lived for 7 years. And I was like, that's okay. Thank you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, because she has a different perspective on life.
Right.
Who am I to tell her that?
Yeah.
You 6, 7 years old. What can you tell your pops? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm your daddy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I could have that perspective, or I could say, I could listen choicelessly and without prejudice and hear her and say, does it land? Does it not land? I think that there's a lot of validity in what you just said, and I can receive that. You know what I'm saying? And even if it wasn't, I can still receive it because it's her perspective.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's very challenging for me to not see them as the same type of recourse or like relationship. I think they're hand in hand. And then, like, even on the side of like experience, it's like, I don't know that experience is the best teacher, but I think it's a great one. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think there's a lot of validity in like somebody that's been to jail saying don't go.
Damn right.
And then somebody that experienced somebody be in jail and say don't go. And then somebody that's never been to jail, that just heard about jail, say don't go.
I think the way I answer that question is because it's the way that I choose to give advice. Because I don't like.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Give advice.
Yeah. And I give unsolicited advice.
Yeah, I don't give unsolicited advice. I don't even give my opinion unless it's asked for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Same.
So,
and that's interesting because that's like, where do you think that's root? Like, since both of you guys say that y'all do that, and I'm gonna say why I do what I do too. But like, why? Like, was that something that was taught to y'all, or was it something that you had learned through your existence?
I couldn't answer that truthfully and say if it was taught to me or if it wasn't, because you know, like, it could have been something that was going on in the house that was, you know what I'm saying, that I kind of.
What you mean?
Like, that could have been something that your parent instilled in you a certain way to where it was like you kind of didn't question certain things. Or
did your mama say stuff like, or daddy say stuff like, only speak when spoken to?
I knew he was about to say.
Or like some like, you ain't got nothing, like, you what can you tell me, you know what I'm saying, like, if you a kid, like, you would never, like, I'm saying, I'm just trying to
I couldn't say no my folks never was on that like that.
Okay.
I just think maybe it's just how I am. Like,
was it like were you ever in positions where like you needed to maintain a certain code of silence?
For sure.
Okay, then okay. So now we're getting somewhere.
Okay,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have to maintain a certain code of silence, retaining certain levels of information, like, you only give information like at its like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's an environment like thing that you like that was embedded into you, right? And yourself. So like, if you had this code of silence, then shit, you ain't gonna say shit to nobody. Like, what am I talking to you for? I don't need to talk to you. One, I don't know you. And then like, that's another thing. Like, did you grow up in an environment where it was like a nigga, I don't know you, or like a I don't talk to nobody if they ain't, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was that a thing too? Like, where you guard yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Okay, then that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's definitely me 1,000%.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like now it's clear why you don't give give freely information and like
Or advice.
impart something to somebody that didn't ask you for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. That's true.
I told that to, I got a friend, she has a brand and she's like just getting started. And she reached out to me the other day, asking me for some things, just for advice on certain things. And she had been wanting to ask me, but she had just finally built up enough courage to say, okay, I'm going to ask Huey. And on the opposite of that, I noticed a lot of the things for a long time too. And I wanted to like tell her like, oh, you probably should go about it this way instead of that. You know, those things I wanted to tell her, but I'm like, I'm not going to reach out to nobody and just, hey, I see you doing this. Like, no. I just felt like it's unwarranted. If she came and asked, okay, yeah, we could peel back the layers and dissect it. And, oh, I'm glad you actually, because I've been thinking about this. Like, and that's how it is, and it's genuine. But I don't know. I think even me saying it right now is like, maybe you could kind of go out your way a little more to give, because like
advice.
that could have probably helped that person cut their time in half a little bit. But it's like,
What
if they're not receptive, then what
Yeah.
that make you feel like you kind of forcing it.
well,
Forcing
this
it,
is the thing. Like, so unsolicited advice is something that I've always done because I'm observant and I'm paying attention to people and I'm noticing something. Like, I'll notice that somebody is constantly leaning to the left every time that they sneeze. And I'm gonna be like, why you always like, did you know
That
you lean to the left every time you sneeze, or every time after you sneeze you laugh a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, why you laugh? Are you embarrassed? Are you trying to like calm yourself down? Like what's up? Or I may be like, hey, look, you know, I've been noticing that you've been late. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there something going on? Like, I've noticed like whatever it is. Like, I'm paying attention to everybody at all times. And the reason why that is because when I was younger, I had to pay attention to stuff like I was an adult. Like, and I didn't get to have the aloof kid awareness.
Free.
Just free. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, like
Wasn't that?
my mom about to be home. She tired. She need to eat. If I make sure that she taken care of, then I can be gone when she get here, and she not gonna be worried about me because I'm gonna also be back by a certain time, so I can move how I want to move. So it's almost kind of setting me up, like help me help myself, like by getting her good. But if I have that awareness, then I can do whatever. Or, you know, having the ability to, like, when I'm a manager, like working in retail for a long time, like you have to anticipate the needs of your client and your employees. And so, like, you have to create a lot of harmony and like enable a lot of activity at all times. And so you have to, hey, you're doing this, I'm constantly calibrating other people's actions and unsolicited. Like, nobody's asking me to coach them on how to sell blah, 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 or how to, you know, give good customer service. But that's my job to bring that out of them. So like, that's why I do it. Because I'm trying to help somebody. I'm trying to contribute to somebody. But what I've learned is that unsolicited contribution is just as treacherous and like damning as not saying anything at all. Like, both of them are equally like positive or negative.
So worth the risk, like giving it unwarranted than not saying nothing at all.
But
It's like,
it's both. Like, it's also worth the risk to be quiet. But what I've learned to do is to ask a question before giving any advice. Because now I have the ability to get a certain level of willingness or knowledge from this person. Hey, look, I'm noticing some things. Is it okay if I share? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you don't want to hear it? Okay, bet. I don't have to say nothing. I don't have to say anything. Like,
nah, it's awkward,
you know what I'm saying? It's not awkward. I'm leaving it at that. Like, hey, I've been, you know what
for
I'm saying?
that person, because they'll be thinking like, hey, what?
They
what
could or
I
couldn't.
wanted to
They
say
could
to
or
me,
they
like,
could or couldn't.
They're
Because-
definitely gonna be thinking
But I'm
that.
saying, but they could or couldn't. Because I mean, it's happened before. I could be like, hey, look, hey sis, I noticed something about you, but like, you okay with me sharing, or are you not okay with me sharing? She could be like, I ain't trying to hear nothing from. You don't even know me to try to tell me something about myself, and that's the end of that. Okay, well, bet, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that completely warranted. And somebody's gonna be, oh yeah, tell me. You got a bug in your nose. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't see your nose. Like,
Right.
But I don't want to be like, you got a bug in your nose. Oh, you. Like, now that's embarrassing and shock, and it's all out. Like, right now, let me pull you to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just learning how to learning how to get to where you want to be with like the least amount of resistance, because you're honoring the person, right? You're seeking understanding before like seeking to like contribute or be understood.
Yeah.
And so when you can kind of position yourself like that, you can get a lot of like really good things like done, so to speak.
Maiya, what you think is the most significant thing you've learned on your journey?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. The most significant thing I think I've learned on my journey. Listening to yourself. That is something that I battle with, because you know things and you just doubt yourself a lot. So I would definitely say listening to yourself. Like, you know what you need, and whatever that might be, you know, listen to yourself, and also taking the time to feed yourself, because as creatives, we're constantly trying to figure out how, you know, yes, feeding others, like, you know, but sometimes we wake up and we just work, and we just, you know, we have to wake up and feed ourselves first, and then the work comes after. And so I've been on this little journey where I've been feeding myself, whatever that might be for me that day, whether it's praying, whether it's reading, whether it's working out, eating good, just feeding myself and not trying to work, and I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And I'll say one more thing, also enjoying the now. Because a lot of the times we're working so hard to, okay, what's the point in working so hard if you are not enjoying it? And we're always looking to the next, oh, I got to do this next. It's like, hey, this is happening now. Enjoy this right now. So that's kind of answers.
But you, what do you think the most significant thing you've learned on your journey?
The most significant thing that I've learned on my journey is how to suffer. Because I'm on a really long journey, and it has been a lot of droughts, but there's also been a lot of abundance. And you can suffer in both. But I remember, you know, studying the Bible when I was younger, and there was a fruit of the Spirit was long suffering, and never really understood what that meant. But like, suffering for a long time is a gift.
Sure.
Like long suffering, because it means that whatever it is that you're doing is like, it's if long suffering is attached to what you're doing, then it's worthwhile. Like it's truly worthwhile. And I think that that's been the most significant thing that I've learned up until this point is how to suffer.
Well, I got you right here. What would you say to your future self? People always ask, what would you say to like your younger? What would you say to your future self?
I love you.
What you like?
Damn. Yeah, what would I say to my future self? I would say you are strong and you don't look like what you've been through. And yeah, that's what I would say.
That's what I say. Trying to think myself.
And that's a tough one.
Because I don't know, I kind of want to say maybe I'll probably just tell myself it was worth it. Yeah, like it was worth it. All the sacrifices that was made, all the ups and downs, feeling every emotion, you know, dealing with life, all the losses, all of it is like, we here now. And, you know, some of that stuff can't never be unwritten, but it's like, all the long suffering you talking about, it was worth it. Mm-hmm. Because the life that we have now and how fulfilling it is, I wouldn't have wanted the opposite of this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in closing, final question, what does No One's Ordinary mean to you? I guess I'll start it off. No One's Ordinary means to me, every time somebody asks me, I'd just be like, bro, it's a lifestyle. It's like just going against that traditional way of thinking, being able to like fully be yourself unapologetically at all times. You know, it's something like what we say all the time, it's something extraordinary within all of us. And it's a choice. No One's Ordinary is a choice. You know, being able to decide if you want to discover what it is that makes you extraordinary, and what you do, deciding on if you want to lead into it fully or not. So I just think like it's a lifestyle, you know, I'm an advocate for everybody just being themselves and whatever that looks like.
Okay. So kind of backdooring that, No One's Ordinary means to me, like you said, just being yourself, like whatever that is, you know, everyone is different. Everyone has different experiences, different emotions, just being you, just unapologetically, and just having confidence, the confidence with that. And yeah, having confidence with that.
Watch you, Lil.
When I hear no one's ordinary, I've heard it so many different times, like over the time that we've known each other, and I've heard you say so many things about it. But today I heard something different. Like I feel something different. When I hear no one's ordinary, what I also was awakened today is like no one that has ever been a one is ordinary. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like the first of something, like the best at something, the number one at something, like it has never been an ordinary person. Like it's never been a boring, like standard, quintessential person that's like a number one. Like when you think about, you know, the number one scorer in the league, like none of the ones that have been a one were like an ordinary player. You know what I'm saying? Like no one, like also like the ones that you know, like he one of them ones. Yeah. Like when you think of one of them ones, yeah. Like, I mean, like what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like what we doing? Like this is one of the ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not a regular thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just think about it from like this standpoint of like we the ones, like to somebody. Like, and I believe everybody that sees those individuals will be in the same way. Like they don't do the ordinary, like that person is one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? And so like, that's what I heard today, oddly enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I feel today. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. It's conversations too. We good? All right. Appreciate y'all.